Have you ever had that Geoguessr moment where there's a Cyrillic sign in Russia and everyone guesses very close to it and you're wondering, how the hell are they doing that? I'm happy to report that you're not alone. Most average Geoguessr players wonder the same thing. In fact, not very long ago, I was once that guy as well, scoring the worst in Russia even when there's signs blatantly telling us where we are written in Cyrillic. That is, until I came across this video. This video is from one of the best Geoguessr players and teachers of all time, known as GeoAlok. The video is very well made to help us improve guessing in certain parts of Russia, but what helped me the most honestly wasn't really in the video itself. It was in the cool link in the description of the video. Thanks to this cool document Alok made, it took me just about 2 days and 6 total hours of learning to memorize and translate most, if not all, of the Cyrillic letters. So in this video, I just want to show you my personal method or mnemonic ways of remembering how to translate most of the common Cyrillic letters so that you could have a chance of finding them in the map. So without further ado, let us begin the video.
Let's go!
So the first and easiest group of Cyrillic letters we want to learn about are the ones that are exactly the same as their English counterparts, which consist of the letters A, E, K, M, O, and T. My method to easily remember the letters is to rearrange them to the Shakespearean-like phrase, to make or not to make.
Let's go!
There are also the second easiest group of letters to memorize, which are the Cyrillic letters that are very similar to their Latin counterparts, which consists of the Cyrillic P, which looks like this, and the Cyrillic P, which looks like this. There's also the sometimes used Cyrillic letter E, which is just an E but flipped and a little bit more curvy.
Let's go!
The third group of letters are letters that exist in English or Latin but are read differently in Cyrillic. First of all is the Cyrillic B, which is the letter V in English. The way I remember this easily is that B and V are next to each other in the QWERTY keyboard. If you use any other keyboard layout, then I guess one way to remember it is that B and V sound similar. The second letter is the Cyrillic H, which is the letter N in English. The way I remember it is if someone karate chopped the right side of the horizontal part of H, it becomes an N. The third letter is the Cyrillic P, which is the letter R in English. If P grew a tail, then well, it will become an R. The fourth letter is the Cyrillic Y, which is the letter U in English. Now how I remember this is if you take away the bottom part of the lowercase y, in my style of handwriting, it will look like a U, so that mnemonic method stuck with me ever since. The last is the Cyrillic X, which is the letter H in English. The way I remembered this is because of the cool click language used in South Africa and Zimbabwe, known as Xhosa. Yes, that X is pronounced as a over there. Pretty cool stuff. Here's a short preview of a video demonstrating the language.
Let's go!
Now we're getting to the fourth group of letters, which consist of letters not found in English. First of all is the Cyrillic G. This looks like a half-complete G letter anyway, so let me draw a little bit to complete the other half just to give you a picture of what I mean. Then there's the Cyrillic L. I mean, there's already the letter L in it anyway, just flipped. Let me highlight that for you so that you could easily remember it as well. Then there's the Cyrillic letter Z, which looks like the number 3. But if you know cursive letters, that'll help you out a lot more because Z looks like that anyway. There are two types of Cyrillic I's. The first one is the soft I, which is literally a flipped N. The way I remember this is that the very first stroke of the flipped N is an I. The second one, which is the hard I, looks like this. It looks like a lowercase b with an I next to it, which should make it easy to remember. There's also the Cyrillic Y, which is literally a Cyrillic I with a crown on top. The letter Y also looks like a crown on top of the letter I, so that's very coincidental and a perfect way to remember it for me. I did not have a good way to remember the Cyrillic F until I realized that it looked like an O being stabbed by an I, and thus my reaction to poor Mr. O here is F to pay respects. The Cyrillic P consists of two pillars supporting a roof, which I will highlight here. Now for the hardest batch of letters in Cyrillic that consist of 2 or more letters in English. The Cyrillic TS looks like if the letter U was lit with a fuse, and the fuse sounds like the TS. The Cyrillic CH is literally an upside down chair, which already has CH in front of it anyway, and that's how I remembered that. The Cyrillic YA is a flipped R. The way I remember this is by asking, "Are you ready, kids?" The best way I remember the Cyrillic YU that looks like an I and O stuck together is by forming the term IOU, like I owe you something. The Cyrillic YO is an E with two dots on top of it. My method of remembering it is by combining the E and yo to make it sound like a kind of silly greeting phrase. Hey yo, how are you doing, man? The best way I remember the Cyrillic SH is by remembering the word wash, as in the W looks like an SH. Now, if you add a little tail to the Cyrillic SH, it will look like a mouse and start to eat cheese, which starts with a CH, and it will become an SHCH. Now the last letter is the Cyrillic ZH, which kind of looks like a star. The way I memorize this is that the star contains an X, which is already a H, so we just add a Z in front of it. Well, that's all I can teach you, I guess. Hopefully this will finally help you with reading Cyrillic, and you can finally find those pesky Russian cities shown in signs or even in buildings. If I've made any mistakes, forgot any other commonly used Cyrillic letter, or if any of you have better ways to remember some of the letters, please let me know in the comment section below. You might be helping others as well. Thank you for watching. Like the video if it helped. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. I'm out. See you next time.
It was Uncle Roger, guys. It was Uncle Roger. It was hiya, fuyo.
It wouldn't be bestical if we didn't have this, guys, right?
21,700. I smashed 21K there. GG.